What's going on, YouTube? Evil Foo here again. So a couple weeks ago I got my first mini console, the SEGA Genesis Mini. I was in the hospital, I bought it while I was in the hospital, got out. I've been super enjoying it. I did a video about it already. I've been having an absolute blast with it. Especially I put this, I'm holding it in my hand right here. I'm still new to YouTube, this is all new. What do I do with my hands? Anyway, I've been playing my SEGA Genesis Mini, absolutely loved it. Put Hackchi on there, so I was able to download all the games from my childhood, a couple games I hadn't tried out. So it's fantastic. The hardware is really cool to be playing with and everything. It looks super cool. But the games themselves, nothing on there is really super new to me. I've played most of those games. I own most of those games. I have my other collections, things like that. So while I'll be playing the SEGA Genesis Mini for years to come, and I'm super glad to have it, it wasn't super exciting as far as the new experience goes. So also while I was in the hospital, I ordered the Astro City Mini. There's two versions of this. This is the original version. There's a new version called the V, Astro City Mini V. That stands for vertical because it's like the Tate mode vertical scrolling games. So the screen orientation is vertical on that one. But I have not ordered that one yet. This is the original one. This has it's a little miniature arcade cabinet for Sega. It's actually, you know, the screen works and everything like that. I have the system right here. So it comes with a screen and, you know, little controllers, a micro switch controller, buttons, everything like that. Super cool. Doesn't have any kind of batteries or anything like that. It does have to be plugged into USB for power. But so you can play it like this with the screen. It's got stereo speakers on there, or you can plug it into your TV, which is what I do, of course. But this I got because it has, well, for two reasons, man. It has like 37 games on here. A lot of them are arcade games. Well, they're all arcade games, but a lot of arcade games I've never played before. But two reasons I'd buy this is for either one of them by themselves. This has Virtua Fighter on it, the first home port of Virtua Fighter that's like arcade perfect, and then it has the arcade sequel to the original Golden Axe, which is Golden Axe Golden Axe Revenge of Death Adder, which is the direct sequel to the first Golden Axe, and it's fantastic. It came out on the Sega System 32 board, really good arcade board. So it has all kinds of sprite scrolling, giant sprites on there, cool effects on there, all kinds of sprites on the screen. That never came to any home system at all. So for those two reasons, I bought this, and I've been absolutely loving it. All right, here is going to be some camera capture here just to see the screen turn on. This is in portable mode. I don't have the HDMI plugged in. This is just the USB power right now. And the reason I haven't played a ton of the Astro City Mini yet is because I have big gorilla hands. So this works perfectly. Everything works perfectly down here, but it's uncomfortable for me after a while with my hands. My hand cramps up to the back a little bit. So I ordered this Astro City Mini controllers. And unfortunately, those are like $100 a piece now. They were like 20 bucks when they came out, but I guess they did a limited number of them or something because they're like 100 bucks a piece now. So I found some exclusive to China. So the expensive ones are $100 a piece. They're green like this. They match this green. But China had exclusive red and something else colors, and those ones I found a couple of those for only 40 bucks a piece, which isn't bad. So I ordered those. But this came from Japan, so it's a while to get here. The controller is coming from China, and I guess it's on the slow boat from China because it's been quite a while since I ordered, and the controllers still haven't come. So I haven't played these a ton yet because my hand will cramp up after about 30 minutes or so. But I mean, my hand's been through a lot, so, and I'm old. Maybe that has something to do with it too. But yeah, my hands is a little too big for the little mini arcade stuff. But it's very cool concept. I mean, aesthetically, it's awesome to have this little mini thing. But I never bought it to play it like this anyways. And you can also plug in the controller and play the controller in there as well. Alright, I have moved over to direct capture. This is plugged into the HDMI now. So let's take a quick look at all the games on here. So it starts with Virtua Fighter, the first one it has selected on there. One thing that's cool is if you look on the right side of the screen there, if you hit left or right, it has three images from the games. Just kind of show you what it looks like if you don't know what they are. Down below it shows the year it came out, so this was 93, and then it shows the arcade board that it came out on. This is the Model 1 board, and it shows the genre at the bottom, which is a fighting game. This is the only Model 1 arcade game on here, which is too bad. We really love Virtua Racing on here. But I'm hoping that Sega eventually will do like a Model 1, 2, and 3, and maybe a Naomi arcade board collections for like the PlayStation 5 and Series X, and the Switch, the PC. Even little mini arcades like this would be great, but those really need to be out on a lot more systems. So let's take a quick look at all the games on here. I've not played all these yet. So we have Virtua Fighter. This is one of the 2 reasons I bought this was for Virtua Fighter. Arcade Perfect Virtua Fighter finally, which I love that. Stack Columns. It's a sequel to one of the Columns games. Ichidant R. That is some kind of little puzzle game. That says right there, puzzle in action. Puyo Puyo 2. That's like, you know, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. You've played these games before. They're actually pretty fun. This is Dotori-kun, or Dotori-kun, sorry. I can't read. This is like a little maze. It's like it's built into the PC board, the arcade board itself. So it's like not even really a game. Kind of like Snake on the old Nokia phones. It's not like that. I'm just saying it's a built-in piece of software. Flicky, that's an arcade classic, System 1. You're a little bird, you collect these little birds. Kind of like the original Mario Brothers. Not Super Mario Bros, but the arcade version. You collect these little birds and you have to get them away from these cats. SEGA Ninja came out as Ninja Princess over here in the States. It's kind of like the game Commando, but you're a ninja. It's actually really fun. My Hero, this is another System 1 game. It's kind of like Sega's wannabe version of, not Renegade, what is it? River City Ransom. It's actually, I heard that it's garbage, I haven't tried playing it yet. Space Harrier, Yu Suzuki game. This is an all-time classic game. The sound effects, the music, and everything like that are very good. Fantasy Zone, another all-time classic. It's a side-scrolling shooter. You can actually go either direction. You kind of control where you're going. And the main little ship, you're like this little, I guess you're a sentient ship. I don't know if you're alive. I don't really know the story, but he was the Sega mascot. His name was Opa Opa. He was the Sega mascot for a while. Then they tried doing Alex Kidd. And then Alex Kidd was eventually replaced with Sonic, which, thank God, because Sonic was awesome. And this is the first Wonder Boy game. They have a lot of the Wonder Boy games on here. Total Arcade Classic, great game on there. Quartet 2, this is Destroy the Boss. Only a key opens the door. Some kind of side-scrolling, looks like a platforming shooter. I have not tried that game yet. Alex Kidd with Stella, The Lost Stars. This is some kind of spin-off Alex Kidd game. I've heard that it's garbage. I've not tried it yet. I haven't tried most of these games yet. Alien Syndrome. This is a good game. It's Overhead. It's based off like the Aliens movie franchise, but you're kind of killing these little blob aliens, and you kind of rescue other. Like right there, the score where it says 10,000 or was that 100,000? I guess it is. You can see there's kind of a sprite. They're like people that are encased, kind of like the chick that says "Kill me" and aliens. You're trying to rescue those and go through the stages. It's actually a really good game. Wonder Boy in Monsterland. This is a lot of people's favorite Monster Boy game, or excuse me, Wonder Boy. This was kind of unique for the arcade because it was like an RPG or action RPG, whereas you could like buy swords, upgrade your armor, things like that. Not something a lot of arcade games would do. Then we have one of the all-time classics, Shinobi. We had a Shinobi arcade game or arcade cabinet in a pizza shop down from my house when I was a little kid, and I absolutely was mesmerized just watching the like the attract screen. Well, I'll let it run one time real quick. But I would watch this and I'd listen to the music. I was always just blown away. I always wanted to play this so much. I eventually played it, but I was not any good at it at all. It's really a difficult game. One-hit kill. But it's a great all-time classic. It's on a lot of, there's a Genesis version. It's been ported to everything. Those Genesis collections. It's in almost every Genesis collection. There's also an arcade perfect version on the Xbox Series X. I mean, it's backwards compatible. I think they ported to the 360. This is what always blew me away as a kid, though. Like throwing these ninja stars. I loved ninjas and kung fu and stuff when I was a kid. But at the end here, when the one ninja gets to you, it jumps out. Bam! Right there. That's the iconic thing that I always remember as a kid. Let me get back off of this real quick. So to get out of this, you just hit, you can't see what I'm doing, but you hit the 2 little yellow buttons at the same time. And that will pause the game. It'll let you save it. You can load, and then you can go back to the main menu. Here we have Sonic Boom. This is a vertical shooting, a vertical shooter. There's a few vertical shooters on here. Sega did just recently release a Astro City Mini V vertical. So the screen orientation is vertical on that one. It has a ton of vertical scrolling shooters on there. There's a few on here too. Altered Beast, all-time Sega classic. It was the pack-in game. The Genesis version was excellent. It's not as good as the arcade, but it was very excellent. It was the pack-in game in North America when the Genesis came out. The cover work for that, the box cover, I can't talk. The box art for that game is really iconic. Looked really cool to me as a kid. Absolutely loved it. This game's not perfect by any means. You can beat it in like 15 minutes. But yeah, the guy that made this game, I can't think of his name right now, but he made this game. He went on to make Golden Axe and basically improved on Altered Beast in every single way imaginable. I've always thought Altered Beast would be a really good franchise for a good, rebooted franchise, or remake, not a remake, but like a reboot. But it has a kind of a cool concept where you're this guy, a kung fu dude, and you get more and more powerful, get more and more buff basically, and then you can turn into an animal eventually. It's kind of a cool concept. All right, Scramble Spirits, that is another vertical scrolling shooter. Wonder Boy 3, Monster Lair. This one's a lot of people's favorite Wonder Boy game. Gain Ground, this was just added to the SEGA Genesis Mini 2, the Genesis version. That's like an isometric shooting game. It's actually kind of a pretty cool game. Crackdown, I haven't tried this one. I believe it's like an isometric, you're disarming these bombs, or you're planting these bombs, I don't remember which. Kind of like an isometric, almost like the old Metal Gear games. Yeah, Golden Axe, all-time classic, of course. This is one of the best SEGA games in my opinion. Absolutely love this game. It's arcade perfect, so that's awesome. Cyber Police eSWAT, I've heard this is really, really good. There's a Genesis version. It's on the SEGA Genesis Mini. I haven't tried that yet, but the Genesis version and the arcade version play a lot differently. But just from the looks of this, I haven't tried it yet. It's supposed to be really good, but it reminds me of like Narc and the Rolling Thunder games. But it looks pretty cool. Definitely want to try that eventually. Shadow Dancer, this was the arcade sequel to Shinobi. You have a dog, which is awesome. I train attack dogs, explosive detection dogs for a living. So I like any kind of games that have dogs in there. Alien Storm, this is a side-scrolling beat-em-up where you have guns. Kind of like how Shinobi has stages where mixed in between stages, sometimes there's like those first-person ninja stages where you have to shoot all the ninjas coming at you. This has these first-person stages where like in convenience stores, inside buildings, things like that, where these aliens are coming, you can shoot the aliens, get power-ups and stuff like that. But mostly it's a side-scrolling beat-em-up with, you have guns. They're not like guns that shoot like super far, so it's kind of like you're punching and kicking somebody. You have a little bit more range than that, but not like a traditional gun. Columns is on everything. It's, match 3 or match 4, whatever it is. It's match 3, I think. But anyways, that's on like every SEGA Genesis collection ever for some reason. Like SEGA is really invested in columns. It's not as good as or as fun as Tetris at all, but it's okay. Bonanza Brothers, this is a decent little game. I've played this on a couple of the Genesis collections, the Genesis versions, never the arcade version. Columns 2, same thing as the other columns. Thunder Force, the Thunder Force series, especially on the Genesis, was really good. Not vertical, but horizontal scrolling shooting game. So this was one of the arcade. This is the arcade. I think this is the only one that came out in the arcades. The other ones were all home system launches. But a very popular series. Radmobile, this is a System 32 sprite scrolling racing game. This is right before Sega went into the Model 1 and started doing everything in 3D. The System 32 was actually really advanced, which is what the Saturn was kind of based off of at first before PlayStation announced what they were doing for PlayStation. So I'm like, oh shit, they had to throw in a couple extra Hitachi chips to try and get the 3D up to par on the Saturn, which the Saturn really, in some ways, was more powerful than PSX, but it is so hard to program for. But one thing about this is, if you look hanging from the rearview mirror there, that is Sonic the Hedgehog on there. This came out before the first Sonic the Hedgehog game, so it was actually the first on-screen appearance of Sonic the Hedgehog. Cotton, another horizontal shooter. The Cotton series is really popular. Had some good games on, I think, the Sega CD, the Saturn, maybe even the Dreamcast. Very cool games. Arabian Fight, this is an AM2 game before they made Virtua Fighter 1. This is a side-scrolling beat-em-up game. The original version was 4 players, so any 4-player version of the arcade games on this home system, they're only 2 players, which is kind of unfortunate, but I'm never going to have 4 people all together. Too old for that these days. But, anyways, so this is like again, System 32, so there's tons of sprite scrolling in and out of the screen and things like that to really show off the graphics at the time. I've not played this one yet, but it's supposed to be good. So it's like a, Streets of Rage type game. And this is the second reason I bought this. I would have bought the Astro City Mini for the price it was. It was only like a little over $100. I would have easily paid that for either Golden Axe, The Revenge of Death Adder, or that Virtua Fighter 1 port. But I got both of them, which is awesome. So this is the direct sequel to the original Golden Axe. It's on the System 32 board. This has never been ported home. The Sega Genesis Golden Axe 2 is a totally different. That was made just for the Genesis. It's also a really good game, but it's completely different to this. So this is, I really want to play this. The original Puyo Puyo. Dark Edge, this is a 3D fighter using the System 32 board, so it's sprites, but they scroll in and out. The camera pans around like a 3D game. It actually is on 3D planes. I have not tried it yet. It's supposed to be pretty cool. Tant R. This is like another puzzle collection game. Something probably heavily in Japanese, so I'm not going to be able to play that really. Then we've got Virtua Fighter again. So I will leave you guys with a direct capture here of me. I'll shut my mouth so you don't have to hear my obnoxious voice any longer, but I'll do a couple matches in Virtua Fighter, and then I'll do one level in Golden Axe, The Revenge of Death Adder, and then the video will be over. Alright, thanks.
I hate to see you go, but I love to watch you leave.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out.